Welcome everyone. This is Yves Massard with HID Global, and today we're going to talk about FIDO in the smart card world. First, a quick setting in terms of the context. My assumption is that most of you already know about it, but very quickly, what is FIDO? FIDO stands for Fast Identity Online, and it's an open standard that provides the ability to authenticate users in a secure, fast, private, and easy-to-use fashion. And it's supported by all major browser and OS that are used by people across their computing environment, whether it's on a desktop, laptop, and as well as mobile devices as well.
Hello, my name is Bernd Zwartendorfer. I'm from Infineon. We're doing the presentation together, and I have the pleasure now to continue with that slide. All of you are usually aware of FIDO and FIDO authenticators. Just a short and quick wrap up on the differences between the two types of authenticators we are typically distinguishing. First, we have so-called on-device or platform authenticators, which are built-in fingerprints together with TPM, for instance, which are typically used with one device only. So either being a fingerprint in your smartphone, for instance, or a fingerprint sensor in your laptop. The second category of authenticators are external or roaming authenticators, which are security keys such as USB tokens or smart cards. They are external, can be plugged into different devices, for instance, laptops, smartphones, desktop PCs, and so on. So you can use them at multiple devices. For built-in authenticators, you have a different variety of authentication mechanisms. You can use pins, face recognition, fingerprints, voice recognition, for instance, usually all packed by a secure element such as a TPM or trusted execution environment. In this presentation, we want to focus on smart cards, which are external authenticators. We can also use a pin to activate a secure element or even a fingerprint embedded in the smart card, or simply tap the smart card to a reader. I think every one of you is aware of smart cards. So smart cards are really a form factor and technology well established in the market for many years. The highlight of smart cards is probably it's a standalone secure processing environment with a secure element embedded in some polycarbonate typically, and you can get access to this secure chip either via contact, so you insert the smart card into a contact-based reader, or contactless, so you simply put the smart card in a certain distance to the reader and everything is going wireless. The protocols for reading out data from the secure element are standardized in ISO. And as mentioned before, main advantage of the smart card is that it's using a tamper-resistant hardware to really ensure high security, high confidentiality, and high secure identification authentication.
So where do you find a smart card and secure element today? Well, it turns out they're actually very widespread. There's several billions that are out there. You will find them in a bank payment card. It's been widely used in Europe and in Asia for quite a while, and it became more prevalent over the past few years in North America as well. Passport and ID card may embed also smart cards. So when you're crossing the border and your passport is read electronically, that actually leverage a smart card chip that's embedded inside the passport cover. It's inside cell phones. When you have a SIM card in your cell phone, that's a smart card. It may be embedded inside phones and tablets. In that case, it's often called secure element instead of the smart card form factor, since it doesn't have the plastic card form factor, but it's using the same chip and the same protocol and security level. It might be used in a transit card if you're taking the bus or the subway and paying by tapping a card. That's leveraging smart card security. Your employee ID might have that, both in in some technologies like the PIF standard and the CAC standard, where your employee ID might be used to log into your network, but also for building access cards. So your badge, you tap the card to actually open the door. That uses a smart card chip. And there's also some healthcare card that also embeds smart card capabilities in there as well for things like payment or identification at the premise of the doctor or the hospital. And really, what FIDO can help all those different applications is how can you go from a physical device that's in many cases is focused around use cases that are presence related with physical identification and so on, and bring it to the online world. And FIDO, part of the FIDO2 specification include a protocol called CTAP with a specific flavor that works with the NFC protocol. So it works with contactless card, and it can be then enabled into a smart card form factor, where your smart card, your plastic card, has that smart card chip embedded in it, and it's got an antenna that relies on the same protocol that NFC use, and then can be used with many different devices that you would use with. So if your smartphone has an NFC antenna embedded, or your tablet or your laptop, you're going to be able to bring the card close to your device. It's about an inch distance, less than an inch. You bring it close to the device, and your computing device will be able to see the smart card and will be able to leverage the FIDO protocol so that you can be authenticated into your application. So both can be combined, and it's in large part due to the ability of smart card to support multi-application protocol, where one of those applications can be the FIDO2 protocol.
Yeah, so one of the ideas of this presentation was to illustrate how FIDO really can bridge the gap between the physical use of smart cards with the online use. And the first application area or sector we came across was the governmental sector, where we said, okay, well, ID cards are typically used really in face-to-face physical scenarios, but how about the online world? Of course, there exists some eID functionality already in for online scenarios backed with smart cards, but they usually lack in usability, and this is really where FIDO could help. And what we see is that there are already a lot of activities in the governmental sector going on who have also interest in FIDO, and the FIDO Alliance provided already a lot of information and feedback to these activities. Just to name a few examples, in the United States, we have the NIST SP 800-63, or in the European Union, we have the eIDAS regulation, which deals with electronic identity in a cross-border context. And there are some smaller activities in various European countries looking at FIDO and how it could work out in the governmental context. And the idea of what we actually want to propose here is that you have a traditional ID or online eID for an enrollment of your FIDO token, or even for account recovery. So you have a really high assurance mechanism for identification and identity proofing. And once done that, you can use FIDO as a user-friendly online authentication protocol and mechanism with some lower assurance, at least for identification, but with high assurance for authentication. And by doing that, you can easily access governmental services. And another advantage would be that you can also access, once you have a FIDO enabled smart card, you can use it at private sector services as well. So this would be a big advantage here. So this is just to illustrate briefly the registration and authentication process using a combined smart card, having eID functionality and FIDO functionality. So in the upper picture, you see the registration process. So you use your ID card to register a FIDO token at the relying party. Use that with a strong identity proofing and assurance. So you typically take your smartphone, read out your MSZ, the smart card chip is read out. You capture a picture, you do some online video identification mechanism to really prove that it's you who is trying to register the FIDO token. So everything works, but it's, as you can see, you have a lot of processes back and forth. So it works, but it's not that user friendly. But once you have achieved that, you don't need to do that again for accessing the relying party or the governmental service. You simply use the FIDO token which previously have enrolled. Yeah. So you go to the website, press the button, for instance, login with FIDO, simply present and tap your card to your client device, for instance, a smartphone, and then you're logged in. So this would really speed up your re-authentication processes at relying parties. Another example besides the governmental sector is payment. A lot of payment activities all over the world look for strong authentication mechanisms. Typically, they are named two or multi-factor authentication mechanisms. So we have in the European Union, the PSD2 directive, or in the US, we have some activities looking at these kind of stronger authentication mechanisms. And here we also could merge the two words of physical payment, what we have. So what we can see at the picture on the left, you're tapping your card to a payment terminal, paying your coffee, and then bridging the gap with FIDO to the online world where you access your banking account, for instance, with a FIDO token, or using a FIDO token for securing your payment transaction. And it would work similar as I has described it before for the government use case, pressing a button for logging in, presenting your card, and that's it.
So another example is enterprise. For employees and contractor that access the enterprise premise, but also access the enterprise IT system, whether they're on-premise application or cloud-based application. Enterprise needs strong authentication, right? They want to make sure that the right person access their premise. They want to make sure that the right person access their application and their data. Many enterprises today issue badges to their employee. Those might have a picture, not always, but often that's the case. And those are often also used to open the door for those offices. Those badges could also contain a FIDO credential, so that FIDO credential would then be used to access their computer, whether their Windows or their Mac, and would be able to access also the enterprise application in a passwordless fashion. So this would be a great opportunity for organization to go away from passwords which are insecure, which are cumbersome, especially when you have to change them every 30 or every 90 days with a password policy that can be quite complex. It can be quite a challenge and generate quite a big cost in terms of help desk cost when the passwords are lost and so on. The idea there is that you'll be able to provide one credential, a smart card that can be used as a badge, but that can also be used to authenticate securely to the organization IT ecosystem. Like for all the other use cases, the idea is that you don't need a complex infrastructure because FIDO has been baked in as a standard into the modern OSs that we use from a day-to-day basis. You don't need to require client software. You don't need to have a complex backend. You just make sure that your identity provider support FIDO and that your application support the identity provider, and you will be good to go. Another example is also healthcare. We've all seen many different hacks that put in jeopardy the healthcare information of patients. It's very sensitive data, so there's a lot of regulation across the world that requires strong protection around that those data, and patients in a way are falling into a similar use case as payment, where patients are in a way consumer of the healthcare services, consumer of the health insurance, and more require online access to those services, whether it's to communicate with the doctor, have telehealth, being able to see results of tests and so on. A lot of the delivery of the healthcare, a good part is moving online, especially with the pandemic, of course, which makes it harder to visit a doctor office. So there's really a need to be able to secure access to those services, whether you go to the hospital, but also whether you access that from your home or on the road. So a user experience that could be used in many places. A patient might have a healthcare card. This might be given by his or her insurance provider, and quite often that healthcare card is shown when you visit the doctor or the hospital. It's used to identify you as a patient, and it might also be used in some cases as part of your insurance billing. Now, when you're on the road or from home and you want to access your healthcare services, whether it's doing a telehealth visit or just following up on your latest test result or the latest communication from your doctor, you could use the same FIDO card, the same card if it has FIDO, using the CTAP NFC protocol to authenticate to the telehealth service in a very easy to use fashion. Just tap the card, maybe type your PIN code or make sure you present your fingerprint, and you're securely authenticated, and now you have access to your health services in a way that's very, very secure, but also very convenient, because you don't have those complex passwords that you forget, that you have to change all the time. Instead, you just have your card presence and your presence verification and your user verification, and you're authenticated and you have access to those services.
So with that slide, we want to give a brief summary why could FIDO be used instead of smart card-based PKI tokens or one-time password applications. The first thing why we think so FIDO would be a benefit is usability. So it's, as already illustrated in the previous slides, FIDO really an easy and fast user experience. And one main advantage is that the complete FIDO process is captured and already implemented in many client operating systems, and the web browsers are supporting the WebAuthn protocol. So compared to traditional PKI cards or EAD cards, you don't need to install any specific software on your PC or a browser plugin or any app on your mobile device. So this is one big advantage. Looking next is standardization. So the FIDO specification and also the WebAuthn specifications are publicly available. The FIDO Alliance is really working all the time on that, maintaining it, improving it, and so on. This is really a huge benefit compared to PKI standards. So that doesn't mean that there's no standard for electronic IDs for online identification, authentication. Actually, there is not one single standard to be used, so there's a heterogeneous landscape. So that's very difficult to achieve somehow interoperability and to access different services if you don't support the specific protocol. This also interrelates a bit with the infrastructure topic. So you don't need to set up a complex PKI. So the nice thing at FIDO is you generate your private public key pair on the authenticator and transfer the public key to the server, and this is used for verification. Also, you use really strong cryptographic mechanisms behind that. So there's no need to have some kind of complex infrastructure. And what is also very secure is that authentication directly happens on the authenticator. So really authenticate to the authenticator first, and then the authentication result is transmitted to the server. When looking at biometrics, so biometrics never leaves the authenticator, or is transmitted to a server for verification. So everything is done on the authenticator. And the good thing is that you don't have any single point of failure in your potential infrastructure. We talked a lot about identification. FIDO aims actually as to ensure as much privacy as possible. So there's no personal information stored on the authenticator besides a public private key pair. So that's also one advantage compared to traditional EID cards, for instance.
So Bernd just run us through all the reason why FIDO has a bright future in terms of authentication, all the advantages of focusing on FIDO instead of some of the other technology that are out there. But we also want you to have a takeaway that there is more than just FIDO, and there are use cases where you might need those additional capabilities. It's when it comes to smart card, it's really helped with the fact that smart card natively are multi-application or multi-protocol capable. It's been baked into the way smart card works from pretty much the beginning of the smart card technology. And adding a FIDO capability on a smart card is really natural and doesn't mean that you have to choose FIDO versus those other capabilities, but you can actually add it and still leverage the capabilities that smart cards might have been providing for quite a while, for a couple of decades. But there's reason why you would want to do that. It's not just that the technology enables you to do that, but there's actually real reason why you would want to consider it. One reason is legacy application support. While we believe that over time there's a good chance and there is a very strong case while all applications should move to FIDO, and Bernd just discussed those in the previous slide. That's not going to happen overnight quickly, right? Applications that are protected with an IDP might be able to move very quickly once the IDP support FIDO, and there's already many IDPs that support FIDO out there. So from the get-go, you'll be able to support FIDO very, very quickly. But there's applications that might not be IDP enabled and that might not support FIDO natively. And it's going to take some time for those to be updated by the vendor, updated by your own internal IT, and then you have to deploy that, right? And so the idea is that with smart card, you might be able to support those applications using authentication technology that those legacy applications might already support. So the idea is that you can plan an orderly transition to a FIDO and passwordless world by deploying smart card to support your legacy application with the existing smart card capability, like one-time password, like PKI, like maybe password manager, maybe not the best, but those gives you a roadmap. And then those smart cards also supporting FIDO lets you then turn on FIDO on your application when they're ready, and your user can then take advantage of that at that point. Another reason why you would want to consider smart card with FIDO is that with smart card, you can also go beyond authentication. FIDO is very tightly authentication focused. It's really the remit of FIDO, and it does that very well. But you might have use cases in your organization that require for more than just authentication. An example might be that you might want to do digital signature, or you might want to encrypt your email or your files, or you might want to do trust across organization. PKI is very well suited for those kind of use cases that goes beyond just pure authentication. You might also want to do physical access, where you have a card that you use to open the door and you use FIDO to actually authenticate to your IT application. There's also many more capabilities that you might want to add, things like secure printing, things like vending, and so on. And so one thing that's great with smart card is that you can have all those capabilities present on the same physical card, so that you don't have to hand multiple physical devices to your employee, your contractors, or your consumers, but instead you can just give them one smart card that does all those things. You have one logistical cost, one management cost, instead of having silos and having all those costs spread out through different ecosystems. So smart card enables you to do all those things and add FIDO on top of it. The last thing also is around identification, and Bernd talks a little bit around that in the government use case, where you might use PKI as a root of trust, where you want to provide the initial identification of the identity, and then from there you bootstrap a FIDO credential that is then used from a day-to-day use, where you're going to have a better user experience than you might have with PKI. And that's sometimes referred as giraffe credential. You might have heard that term in the past in the industry. The thing that's a little bit special here is that you can have a giraffe credential on your initial physical credential. You have one physical credential that's got the PKI, and FIDO then becomes the giraffe credential, and can enable you more use cases than you would be able to do with just PKI. So in conclusion, FIDO and Smart Card provide you a roaming authenticator that provides you with very high security, with a high level of FIDO certification, and also provide you multi-application. So you can use that for FIDO, but you can also use it for many different capabilities that can be added on beyond just the FIDO authentication that would come from the get-go.
Yeah. Just to add a few words to this conclusion, this is really the main benefit, I would say, here for smart cards, combining existing well-known applications and sectors and bridging the gap to the owner world by using FIDO. So this could really help, and other sectors could benefit here with a really high security token for online authentication. Yes, I think this was it from our side, presentation together. Infineon HID, thank you very much for joining us. And if you do have any questions, then don't hesitate to contact us.
Yeah, thank you very much, and please come see us at our booth if you have any question. We'll be happy to answer them.